Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we are going to plant 160 Supertunia Vista Jazzberries here at the entrance to the Proven Winners Signature Garden. Yes, we are going to plant the first round of annuals for the spring, summer, into fall here at Creekside Nursery. I have had this space planned in my head for a very long time. I knew immediately that this is exactly the plant that I wanted to put here at the Signature Garden. So you're going to come along with us on this little ride as we get these babies installed. So let me kind of talk about the plant and talk about the place of where these are going to go. First, let's do the fun stuff. Let's talk about these gorgeous petunias. This is the Supertunia Vista Jazzberry. It is the annual of the year from Proven Winners. It is the newest Vista from Proven Winners to enter into the line. There are 6 colors within the vistas. These are the most vigorous petunias that Proven Winners has. That's why I tell people, think of Vista Vigorous, right? Vigorous vistas. Supertunia Vista Jazzberry, like the other vistas, will get 2 feet tall and 3 feet wide. We do have 160 of these that will go into both of the raised beds here at the entrance to the Signature Garden. The vistas, of course, are going to give us loads and loads of beautiful, in this case, kind of a raspberry purple color throughout the entire season. Like I said, one plant can get 2 feet tall and 3 feet wide. It will make a huge impact here at the entrance to the nursery, both close up and far away. Really excited about putting these in. Your petunias tend to be a heavy feeder, so we are going to amend this space with both our biotone, which is the starter fertilizer, and we're going to put in the Proven Winners time release fertilizer into the ground, and then we're going to come back and we're going to top dress with some compost. The spaces that they are going to go in are the 2 raised beds here at the entrance to the garden. We had tulips there. The tulips are done. They were completely defoliated, but like the blooms had fallen off, right? Each of these beds is 33 feet long. So we are going to do a double row, kind of window pane these plants in here so that essentially we will have coverage from the boxwoods all the way down here to the dry creek bed. So we'll have a row of 42 come down, window pane, and then do another row of 42. We'll have that on both sides here at the gardens, and it is going to be a lot of fun. You can see it's all hands on deck right here. We got everybody with us here at the nursery. Before we come in here and plant, we are going to go ahead, make sure the weeds are out, because that is one of the gardener's biggest chores this time of year, is to make sure that all the weeds are out. There's not very many. There are a couple in here, so we'll make sure and get those out. Then essentially it's going to be pretty straightforward. We're going to come through with our biotone. We're going to do a mass spreading of that within this area that's going to be planted in, and then we're just going to work together as a team, knowing that we have a certain number of plants that are going to go into a certain space and they're all the same plant. We shouldn't have to lay the plants out first. We're going to space these a little less than a foot apart. And that's pretty close for your jazzberries, your vistas. They can go like 18 inches apart, but I have all of these beautiful plants in here and I want to make sure that I have full coverage. So we're going to go right about a foot, a little less than a foot apart on them, and then if we have any extras we can just kind of tuck them into little places, because very soon these jazzberries are going to completely fill in these areas and you're not even be able to see like where each individual plant is. It'll just be one mass of color. So excited about this, cannot wait, and so without further ado, we're going to get started. Okay friends, so today's project is complete as far as planting the jazzberries here in the signature garden. We ended up got that double row in, and it looks great. There is a ton of petunias in this space. We're not done with this space, so while I love it, it's not quite sitting completely right with me, and I'll explain here in just a second. But what we did is Jerry went through, of course, first and just drilled the holes using the power planter, and using, that was my addition, the Jenny addition of the 5-inch auger, and just got in there, got the holes dug really easy. We had you know, spread out the biotone, the time release fertilizer, and then just came in and got the petunias planted. We got them all nice and watered in, so everybody's watered in. We are currently experiencing quite a warm spell here in North Carolina. We've been up in the 80s for the past couple of days. Tonight, we're having a cold front come through. Supposed to have a strong line of storms blow through, dump a bunch of water, and then temperatures go cold again. Colder. So highs in the 60s, and we're going to go back down into the upper 30s at nighttime. Like this morning we woke up and it was 61 degrees. I mean, what in the world? It's crazy. So they're watered in. They'll be fine for today, and then the good Lord will water them tonight. We did not add compost. A couple of reasons. One, we're not finished with this bed. And then two, between the pollen and Jerry and I, our whole family seems to have caught a little bit of a cold. That we had the sniffles beyond just the pollen. And so my energy level is quite low. So I don't have any more energy today to you know, throw out some compost and spread that out. So another reason though, like I said, is not finished, and you can really see it here, is because the rock, the creek stone, river stone, whatever you want to call it, river rock, is not quite even, and we need to add more. So if you look way back over here, that rock sticks out further, and then here is really narrow, and it doesn't go up the bank as much. So that's really like throwing me off as far as like, I feel like maybe we should have added more to this, and Jerry's like, no, it's just a visual thing. We planted a ton of petunias in here. They are going to spread. You know, you start to second guess yourself because I want really full coverage, but I'm really thinking that he is right, that it is the lack of balance here with this river rock that is throwing me off. So what we'll do here relatively soon, in the next week or two, is get more of kind of this medium-sized river rock, and basically we'll run a string line so that it's kind of nice and even through here. Same thing up here, so that both beds are balanced. Then we're going to come back through with some like some smaller river rock, put it in the center, bigger river rock on the edge, and just make it look more like an actual creek bed, like a natural creek bed, because we do have our creek, of course, right here. And in the center, you have little small stones, and then you have the bigger ones up on the side, you know, put through there. It's not like not gonna do like a solid wall of big stuff. It's just those random places to make it look more natural and aesthetic. It's just lacking something right now. So we're gonna work on that. So just know that this space is not completely done. This garden is less than, well, probably like right at 6 months old. So we have a lot of maturing to do, both the gardens, the plants, and the gardeners, and figuring out how to do this space. Gardening is a process, and it most definitely is. Now, to give you an idea, of course, we've got the sprinter boxwoods right here. And then the little lime punches, they are all flushing out so nicely with all of their new growth. The plans for the summer, while I am waiting on the sprinters and the hydrangeas to reach their full maturity, I'm going to come through here probably the end of this month, 1st of May, down the center, and we're going to do some the angel face wedgewood blue angelonia that will fill in here and give us some pretty upright cream and blue flowers, bring me in some blue in this space, and it's not going to get too big. Jerry was saying, well, why don't you put some salvias? I'm afraid the salvias are, even if we did a single line, they're going to get too wide, and not allow the sun to get to the shrubs, which is what we've experienced before in the privacy berm, and then it impedes the growth of the plant, and I don't want to impede the growth of those plants. Then coming down the center here, we'll do a mixed border of annuals. It'll be a lot of fun. Since I feel like this video is getting cut a little short because of my lack of energy, I do want to show you though, there are perennials that are blooming here in the signature garden. So we're going to do just a really quick tour and give you an update on how everything is doing actually, as far as like the shrubs and the perennials here. Everybody is doing amazingly well and showing us a beautiful growth on them. The yarrows, these are the Achillea, this is the peach sky, is just really doing quite nicely. Big ones. Look at Storm Cloud. Amsonia is just so sweet, and of course the Storm Cloud has the bigger leaves on it with those true blue flowers. Such a perfect native plant to go in the garden here. We do have String Theory, and we have a Storm Cloud and a String Theory in all 4 beds, and Storm Cloud is going to be your earlier one. It blooms first, and then String Theory will come in and bloom later. Here is the Princess Bride Eucomis. Look at that, a pineapple lily. Look, we got 3 of them. They're very happy and very upright. If you can see also, the pink Profusion Salvia has started to bloom. It's my favorite perennial salvia. These things will get nice and big and happy and full of those just beautiful upright pink blooms on it. The pollinators love these plants. Just a great, great salvia. It definitely is my favorite one. And then let's see, let's come around over here. The abelias, this is the Mucho Gusto abelia, and they are putting on lots of new growth. Of course, abelias are a shrub more geared towards the south. Nice evergreen, nice mounded, but it has just those beautiful colors on it. I have not fertilized these gardens with my slow release fertilizer for this season, so I need to do that, and of course that will give everybody a nice shot of energy and food to pop up. This is the Stand By Me pink clematis. Look at that. Look how happy they are. We have the pink lemonade baptisia is coming up quite nicely. The Boom Chocolata geraniums, love that for their nice dark color. And then coming over here real quick, I want to show you the String Theory, just to kind of give you an idea. Nope, sorry, that was Storm Cloud as well. No, that's not. This is String Theory. It got labeled wrong, so we need to fix that. This is String Theory. Storm Cloud's back in there in the back. So here we have the String Theory. I know it's String Theory because of how dissected the leaves are. They're very thread-like, hence String Theory. And so you can see you got String Theory right here, and then back there in the back is Storm Cloud that is in full bloom, and while String Theory is just starting to bloom. So I will need to fix that label because that label is wrong. So everything is coming along quite nicely. The Glitters and Glows hedge that we have back here in these backyard beds, they are starting to leaf out. Jerry and I just were discussing about what kind of annual we want to plant between them. And I think what we're going to do is add Diamond Frost in here. So I want to do Diamond Frost because I knew I wanted to do the same plant throughout the whole garden as far as back here in these 2 beds. So we're going to come between the 2 Glitters and Glows of each one, and we will put in the Diamond Frost Euphorbia to give us some fun, bright pops of white and that nice light, airy habit to it. But yeah, everything here in the garden is doing quite nicely. The Chandler is coming probably today to cut grass. So it is definitely time to cut grass. He cuts it once a week, and sometimes I think he could cut it probably twice a week. So it is nice and full and lush. Update on the fountain, because some of y'all are just torn up that we do not have this fountain up and running yet. You'll see that it has water in it. We've plugged all the downspouts, all the holes, and we went to go get it going, and lo and behold, this center, well, I guess it would be the second tier level here, does not retain water. So we have got to come through and probably either we're gonna have to take all of this part apart, take all of this off, and somehow cork the hole here, or we're going to use some sort of, I don't know, caulking around the bottom, but clearly everybody else is holding water except for that one. It literally just runs down into the big bowl. So until we get that going, the fountain is not up and running. Trust me, y'all, there is nobody out there that wants this fountain up and running more than me. But you know what? Life happens and we just have to prioritize. But the garden is coming along quite nicely. Everything is looking just lovely. And then adding these flowers in makes me happy. The next thing, we could probably do the diamond frost next. And then as far as the fountain goes, I don't want to put the Hoopla Vivid Orchid Supertunia in here until we have the fountain up and running. The violas look great, so I mean that's not a problem. Of course the tulips are done, but we've got to get the fountain up and running before we come in here and plant the Hoopla, because if we need to trample and move things, I would rather trample the violas than trample my brand new petunias. So that is kind of the deal on that. All right, my friends, it's lunchtime. I'm calling it a day. We'll find some other things to do today that are a lot less energy sucking for Jenny today. Hopefully this cold will be gone here in just a very short while and we can get back at it and go full force out here in the gardens. As always, we appreciate you. Thanks so much for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.